have a group of people who gain a thrill, who have actually gained their economy, who have profited from brutalizing another group of people, you will actually understand how absent they are from any sort of productivity or cultural establishment of their own. If you take away every black person from the Western Hemisphere, you will have nothing more than a forest full of trees and full of white people who are barely even capable of walking through the sun. So if you want to go and tell me that the culture, the proposed culture that's being proposed within the Western Hemisphere is one that should even be taken into consideration, given that the establishment of that culture was built off of years of labor of many black people who were actually against their own will and have not been subsidized due to the present pressing circumstances and consequences of those actions. You cannot convince me that there exists any kind of culture. I say this because culture is important. They won't teach you culture in the Western Hemisphere. They don't have culture. The only thing they know is to eradicate black people, or at least try to eradicate black people. But they still fail at that because, as I keep telling you, there was a black president and there are black people within the Western Hemisphere who undergo these practices daily, every second, and are still capable of getting through these situations, contrary to what America has taught about colored people, and contrary to the systematic procedures in which police covertly maneuver to try and convince the masses that the dope and the weapon that their system equips the black people with holds them responsible and holds them guilty of using it. The trickery, the false imagery, the violence, the pride, all of these words, these characteristics, which have actually been recognized as immoral in many cultures, in many religions, and many traditions, who outnumber the Western Hemisphere on populous data and amounts, has for some reason been adopted by the Western Hemisphere, which shows the evident lack of complacency, which will forever remain intact for as long as they convince themselves and they believe that their way of living is just and appropriate. And all you need to do is actually look at this from a global perspective, and you will even see that even in Britain alone, who was the biggest act of the anti-black movement, have actually taken all procedures possible to hold a level of accountability for their anti-black racism. You even see black people on the England national team. You will actually even find that the campaigns that these black players have actually been supported by white people in England, have been actually indoctrinated within the most competitive and popular league in Europe, being the Premier League, who have actually taken a stand and said there is no room for racism. The only people who actually provide room for racism are the I don't even know what word to use, because I cannot even call them cultured. As much as they practice multiculturalism, they are everything but that. They are flat in the, not in an insulting sense, but in the sense that they believe everything they want to believe, rather than everything they should believe. It really is a matter of learning how to deal with somebody who has been so sick, and if you remain sick for so long to the point where you deny just basic facts and basic traditions, understanding that slavery was abolished years ago, that anti-black racism is actually held as an illegal discriminatory act, which will hold many consequences in several parts of the world. Should the world actually find out and be aware of the fact that these particular regions within the Western Hemisphere are still practicing these poor absent acts, which are not even considered around the world, you will always understand the system will never accommodate for any sort of reason, any sort of meaning, any sort of appropriate measure, any sort of justice.